pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible. Welcome all this evening. Ruth and Ms. France will be joining us. All other members are present. Next up is open forum, and we do not have next is the approval of the agenda. Okay. So approval of agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda? So moved. By Michael, second.
Second.
By Enrique. Call vote. Enrique.
Aye.
Amy. Passes 5-0. Consent agenda. The consent agenda items are considered routine in nature, and they'll be enacted by one motion. There's no separate discussion on these items unless a board member or a citizen requests it. The consent agenda items tonight are the financials, the check wire transfer disbursement summary, the wire transfer, EFT, banking reconciliation from December 2020, building bond investments, monthly wire detail, monthly health dental wire detail, monthly check detail, monthly ACH, approval of the school board minutes from the organizational meeting on January 11th, the regular board meeting on January 11th, the study session on January 25th, personnel items. How far are we going here? Is that it? Sorry, I'm a little lost right now. I got a little rusty over 2 weeks. Right, Jim? Candidates, I don't do that yet, sorry. I'm thinking consent agenda. What's on the consent agenda? Sorry. Those things are on the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So made.
By Amy, second?
Second.
By Julie? Am I doing that right, Martha?
No, actually, there are a lot more things.
Thank you.
on consent.
Let me reiterate that.
Yes.
Okay, I thought I got a set of brain freeze, sorry. It's too cold. Personnel items, candidates for employment, resignations, terminations, non-renewals, as listed. Am I stopping here now?
No, just.
Resolution, oh, sorry. I missed 3, sorry. I'm screwed up because of the iPad. I'm used to my iPad. I thought I would never say that. Sorry, let me look at this here. District retirements, which we have 2 tonight, and leaves of absence. Just to, you want me to, so I have a motion and a second?
Yes.
With those items added? Okay. I just want to make note on the district retirements today. We have Gail Borchardt and Mary Kowitz. Gail with 20 years of service and Mary with 32 years of service. And I just want to say thank you for your service. That's many years of service to the district, 52 with those 2 combined, and we do thank you for your service. Okay, I have a motion and a second. Enrique.
Aye.
Amy?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. That passes 5-0. Okay, the resolution acceptance of gifts was on there, so we have Laker Pride.
There was a resolution for gifts.
Was there?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
That's not consent, yeah.
That's not consent, sorry. Seriously, I'm having a brain freeze tonight. I gotta find it. That's part of the problem here.
You want it right up?
186. 186? Thank you. Okay. Do I have a motion to accept the resolution of donations as listed?
So made.
By Julie, second?
was by Mary.
Sorry, by Mary. I can't tell with them.
Sorry.
Second by Julie. Thank you. Enrique? Vote. We had a first and a second, sorry.
Aye.
Amy?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Mary?
Aye.
Michael? Aye. That passes 6-0. Now we're at Laker Pride.
Excellent. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here this evening, or good afternoon, or good evening, board members and listening public. Tonight for Laker Pride, we are highlighting some of the work the Loyola del Lago Equity Team has been doing, some of their current initiatives, and some of their future work. At the beginning of the 2019-20 year, the Loyola del Lago Instructional Leadership Team centered equity as one of their SCIP, their School Continuous Improvement goals around everything that they do. They've also brought in lots of stakeholders and have engaged parents in this process as well as their staff. They also have aligned their work with our theme this year of We Are PLSAS Voices. Like every obstacle, COVID certainly has impacted the work they've done, but they still have found ways to engage with families and parents in doing this really important work. Tonight, members of the equity team, along with parents, will share some of that work. So with that, I'd like to ask the principal of Loyola del Lago, Richie Kuczynski, to come forward, and he will bring other guests forward in this presentation. Thank you.
Good evening, Chair Ruel, Dr. Stallo, members of the board. It's a pleasure to be here representing Loyola del Lago. We will share with you some of the work that we have done this school year. But before we do that, I would like to introduce the team here, and you'll get to hear them come up. But we also have Sabrina Tapia Contreras is one of our teachers. Aaron Kiok is one of our parents. And Dr. Neka Cederstrom is a community member that has partnered with us. We are thrilled to be here. Last summer, as Dr. Sala mentioned, we put equity at the heart of what we're doing. And we really wanted to kind of be the overarching theme of all of our work this year. Okay, so yeah, as this attaches to the board missions, the framework for the future, it applies definitely to the district partnerships, and that's what we're here to highlight tonight. So in our equity plan, we called out a specific goal. Again, as Dr. Sala said, our school continuous improvement plan is 85% of students will participate in monthly, explicit, intentional cultural celebrations highlighting specific cultural groups and experiences. And what does that mean? We talked as a BILT team, a Building Instruction Leadership team, about how we wanted some concrete tangibles, like some actual things that we can say, we did that event, or we had that meeting, or we invited those people. And that's some of the work that we're gonna highlight tonight. But we also wanted to highlight too how it ties into our district's commitment to equity inclusion that was passed. Big work the board has been part of, but show that kind of in action here. All right, this graphic kind of represents a lot of the work that we do. And it really states it. The work of equity is at the heart of all you do. We have to say that at all our staff meetings. We come back to that like any mission statement. This is what we do, this is why we do it. This is what we do, this is why we do it. And we don't just have it on paper, it's not just platitudes, but it is really something that we take seriously and try to remind ourselves to hold ourselves accountable. With that, I'm gonna turn it over to
Button pusher.
Sure.
For me, thank you. So to be able to do this work, we wanted to make sure that we did it well. We already have an amazing staff at Loyola del Lago, but we also wanted to make sure when we're interacting with parents and community members, we're doing so in through the restorative justice lens. So what we did is we had 4 trainings. 3 of those was actually through Augsburg University American Indian Education Department with Dr. Joaquin Munoz, who helped highlight ways that staff of color can make connections to parents of color as well. Furthermore, we went one more and we went partner with Minnesota's Peace Institute and taking a deeper look of the ways that we can connect with parents, engage parents in a different way. Again, this is something that Prior Lake Savage has done for years, but we want to make sure that we're doing it through Zoom since we have COVID as an obstacle as well. So we got a little bit creative through the Zoom parent achievement or parent meetings. We had talking pieces. We were able to be able to interact with parents and making sure that we're reading things like body language and connecting with parents in that way. And then next, we just basically asked a simple question. How do you want your family represented in schools? So through that, we had circle parent affinity groups. We collected data by asking parents, how do you want your child represented in schools? What are the biggest issues that you're facing? And one of the greatest things that we found we weren't ready for were moments of joy. Parents being able to connect with teachers, parents connecting with each other, where there are instances of not being able to connect at all, which is something that we miss in schools. And then creating a community, which is something very large in Loyola del Lago. I'll introduce one of our parents, Erin Keok.
Hi, my name's Erin Keok. I have a second grader at Loyola del Lago, and I also have a incoming kindergartner next fall. Our family is half Korean, half Chinese, ethnically, and we love the Loyola del Lago community. We moved back to Minnesota from the East Coast after being on the East Coast, though, for several years. So the diversity landscape is quite different, obviously, here in Minnesota. So this year, the forward, action and movement from the equity team and reaching out and creating these parent affinity groups was, for me, I really appreciated that. Just seeing the community engagement and creating these groups as a safe place for parents to communicate as well as get to know the teachers better outside of that teacher-student relationship has been really nice. And I love the work that they're doing. I'm looking forward to seeing everything that they're incorporating and coming out into our children's education as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Erin. And then the most recent project that we're working on is something for Black History Month. We've talked for many years about how we wanted to do something a little deeper than we've done in the past before. And our equity team reached out to one of our community members, Dr. Neka Cederstrom, and she's going to help share some of the work that we're currently doing, and hopefully in the future kind of use this as a model to maybe spread it more and then do it better.
Thank you. Neka Cederstrom. I have a soon-to-be kindergartner in Loyola starting this fall. I was all stressed out to make sure I got signed in on the date at the right time. I got it, so yes. When the equity team reached out to me to ask for assistance with Black History Month, one of the things I asked was, what do you need? What do you think your teachers are going to need to be able to tell the story of what Black history actually is? One of the things that we wanted to make sure we did was not sort of fall into the standard rubric of just talking about Martin Luther King and Harriet Tubman and Rosa Parks, people who are great in our history, but they're not everything about our history. We also didn't want it to be focused solely on the activism and the coming out of slavery element. There's a whole lot to Black history that has nothing to do with that kind of oppression and that movement, and we wanted to highlight things that help children to see themselves today and who they can be. So we reached out to the community. We raised almost $3,000 to buy posters and books, and what else did we get? We got posters, we got books, we got flashcards. We're trying to get a local Black artist to draw a mural on the wall that has representation. We have speakers coming in. We've got a speaker series every Friday. This week is Dr. Tamika Lasage, who is a neonatologist. She's the only Black neonatologist in the Twin Cities area. Next week is an artist friend of mine, Tariq Mix, who is an artist out of Atlanta, who is an African-American male who did graphic art design at Howard University and then decided to go into artist work on his own and is now a really huge modern artist. And so he's going to be presenting to the kids on what it means to be an artist. And then we round out with Simon Raleigh, who is a local author. She's Somali, and she wrote the books. You see up there the Sadiq series. There's 8 in the book series right now, and I think she's contracted to 12. So she's going to do a special reading of the books, and the kids are already reading the book, so they have questions for her. And so what we wanted to truly do is just show children what they can be and who they can be, and make sure that they understand that Black History Month is a time for celebration and a time to look at what Black people in this country have done and what they continue to do, and use it as an opportunity to do more than just celebrate Valentine's Day. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And then just to kind of close it out, we come back to that as we opened. Relationships truly are everything, and everything with that. So we persevered through it, and we're excited to do this, continue the work, and we're just excited to share that with you. So thank you for your time tonight. Thank you for the opportunity, allowing us to present.
Thank you for your work and for truly representing a community and a culture of equity and inclusion that we can all learn from. Appreciate it. Got a few certificates for you.
I love a good certificate.
Much, and we do have a second Laker Pride this evening, which I am delighted to share. February 22nd to February 26th is School Board Recognition Week. So I am delighted to share a resolution that echoes our appreciation of school board members. Whereas Prior Lake Savage Area Schools recognizes the importance of public education in our community, and whereas Prior Lake Savage Area Schools appreciates the vital role of those individuals who, as local school board members, establish policies to ensure an efficient, effective school system, and whereas school board members serve as a voice that enables our community to preserve local management and control of our public schools, and whereas school board members are charged with representing our local education interests to state and federal government and ensuring compliance with state and federal law. And whereas school board members selflessly devote their knowledge, time, and talents as advocates for our school children. Whereas local school board members are strong advocates for public education and responsible for communicating the needs of the school district to the public and the public's expectations to the district. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that Prior Lake Savage Area Schools recognizes and salutes the members of the Prior Lake Savage Area School Board by proclaiming February 22nd through 26th, 2021 as School Board Recognition Week. And I just want to add a sincere thank you to all of you. I know it's difficult to always serve, and especially during a pandemic. The commitment that you've shown to be learners, the commitment that you've shown to be in schools and to see the amazing work of our staff and students, and to really be a listening ear, an advocate, listening ear for our community and an advocate for public education. So congratulations and thank you very much. And we recognize you always, but especially on this week in February. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is personnel items. Jim.
Board members, board chair, Superintendent Stallo, I have two personnel items for you tonight under personnel. The first is two bargaining unit agreements, which we have ratified and I'm bringing forward. One is for child nutrition and the other, the Secretaries Union. Both of them are within the board parameters as laid out for negotiations. So it would be my recommendation that the proposed collective bargaining agreements between the school board and Services Employees International Union Local 284, which is child nutrition, and the Prior Lake Savage Secretaries Federation Education Minnesota Local 4887 be approved.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the Service Union, the Service Employees International Union 284 and the Prior Lake Savage Area Secretaries 4887? Do I have a motion?
So made.
By Jonathan, second?
Second.
Second.
By Michael. Any questions, comments? Mary?
Jim, could you kind of go over if there's any changes or anything like that since the last time that you brought this to us?
No, they were within the parameters that we discussed.
Okay.
So, yep.
What about changes, any healthcare changes or anything like that? Everything remained exactly the same other than the percentages?
There were some language things that we clarified within there, but as far as the financials, they're as listed in there. There was no additional monies put on the contract.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, seeing none. This is a roll call vote. Enrique?
Aye.
Jonathan?
Aye.
Amy?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Mary?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Aye. That passes 7-0.
The, excuse me, the second personnel item is the pay equity report. This is a report that we do every 3 years. It's due in January every 3 years, and it is basically a report that's required in an effort to eliminate any gender based wage inequities and compensation. So you're looking at male occupations and female in there. A passing score is 80%, and ours was 138. So it was good.
Yeah.
So I recommend approval.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve the pay equity report?
So moved.
By Michael, second?
Second.
By Enrique. Any questions, comments? Keep it up, I'd say. Good job. All right, roll call. Jonathan?
Aye.
Enrique?
Aye.
Amy? Aye. Julie? Aye. Mary? Aye. Michael?
Aye.
Aye. That passes 7-0. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, there's no unfinished business tonight. On to new business, the Ready to Learn plan update. Dr. Stallo.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Good evening, board members and staff and viewing public. This evening, our district COVID-19 coordinator, Jeff Bushek, and I will provide a brief update on our Ready to Learn plan. It has been a very exciting couple of weeks at Prior Lake Savage Area Schools as we welcomed our elementary students back over the last 2 weeks to in-person learning. Schools are filled with the productive buzz and the laughter that only comes when kids are together with their teachers and their support staff learning together. The preparations that our teachers and our staff across the district worked on to ensure safety protocols, relationship building, and instructional excellence has certainly been an inspiration, and we are thrilled to have our schools filled, our elementary schools filled. Speaking of inspiration, you can advance the slide, thank you. Today, school board members and I had a chance to welcome back secondary hybrid A students as we visited all of our secondary sites with the exception of MinCaps. Michael was able to join me at both middle schools and Bridges this morning, and Amy and Julie joined us this afternoon at the high school. We were excited to see the students. The early mornings of the middle school visits were a little bit more quiet, but it was exciting to see students back together. And again, so amazed with what our teachers and our staff are doing. So excited about their positive attitudes and can-do attitudes. They have masks on, they have shields on, they have microphones. They are working with kids in front of them, and they are working with students that are online, and they are heroes and doing some unbelievable things, and I am so proud of the work that they are doing and the way they are loving our kids and supporting our kids as we continue to bring more and more back for in-person learning, while they're also supporting students who are still learning at home and in distance learning. So it was really remarkable. I'm going to hand it over now. We know that one of the best reasons or the greatest reasons that we're able to get kids back is because some of our county case numbers continue to decline. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Joe to talk about some further updates. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Stallo, Board Chair Ruel, School Board. As you can see, first thing we'll begin with is the Scott County case numbers. So the numbers that were released last week by the state for the week ending January 23rd, our numbers continued to decrease down to a number of 31.81. As we see, we've had that trend continuing downward since Thanksgiving. The number that is expected to be released this week for the week ending January 30th actually takes us below 30, down to a number of 29.64 is the preliminary number. And in talking with Scott County, they expect that number to continue to trend downward as we continue to move into the month of February. And so we're finally getting back to numbers that we haven't seen since middle of October. Some of the things that we have been working on and working with our staff to help keep them safe include a variety of things, but the two I want to touch on tonight first is our COVID-19 saliva testing, which I know that some of you had the opportunity to experience today when you came to some of our secondary schools. And so one of the things that we offer all of our staff is the opportunity to have a COVID-19 saliva test every 2 weeks. And so what this entails is our staff sign up, they work their way through the saliva test, they submit that, then we collect them UPS off at the end of the day. The shipment gets sent to the vault company that is running the program, and our staff receive their results in approximately 48 hours. The staff that I've been talking to say that it's really coming back in closer to 24, depending on when the UPS pickup is scheduled for, but they tell us within 48 hours. If a staff member receives a positive test, in that case, what they would do is follow our typical protocol, which is notify their supervisor, and then we will begin our contact tracing if that is necessary. The last thing I want to provide an update on are vaccines, something that everyone is looking forward to, probably the number one question that I get on a daily basis. Right now, we are still working with 2 partners to try to reach our goal of providing vaccine opportunities for all of our staff. We're currently working with MDH MDE, and then we are working with Scott County Public Health. So MDH and MDE has kind of shifted gears a few times, where they started with a pilot program where they had us create a priority list as a district. We provided them a list of individuals that were eligible for that, and they're working their way through that. They're still in the process of working through that initial list that we gave. Now they've changed slightly, and they've offered the opportunity for all of our staff to add their information to a state wait list. Through the MDH MDE program, the state is now contacting our staff, telling them when and where vaccine opportunities through a state clinic are available. We're continuing to work with Scott County. Scott County is telling us what availability they have based on the tight criteria where they're working. So we've been able to send our health care staff, we've been able to send over paraprofessionals who do health care needs such as toileting and some of the other things that they do for our students. We've also been able to send over our 65 and older staff to Scott County. Scott County is still currently working on their 65 and older staff and have told us that school districts are the next group that they will be working with. Both the state and the county level are dealing with the same issue, unfortunately, which is the number of vaccines we're receiving is just not where we need it to be at this point. Our estimation right now is that we have been able to offer between 20 and 25% of our staff the opportunity to be vaccinated. Obviously, our goal is for all of our staff to have the opportunity to be vaccinated, and so we'll continue to work with those partners and see what other options we have to provide vaccines for our staff.
Great, thank you very much. I know we're brief with our report this evening, and that in no way means that the work folks have been doing has been brief, because it isn't, but we don't have a lot of changes other than that wonderful transition of bringing some more students back, and then the updates on the vaccines and the testing. So, thank you.
I just have one question. Can we, the Ready to Learn plan update, can we make sure it gets in the board packet?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It is in there now.
It is?
Just add.
Oh, okay. I was like,
We yeah, we
which
do,
is
'cause-
fine. Which is fine. I'm just saying for the, if
Yep,
anyone
we'll make
comes in
sure, I think
afterwards.
Martha said it's in there now,
Yeah,
but yeah,
okay,
we,
perfect.
actually, I think we got another update on the vaccine testing at about 4:30, 4 o'clock today,
I
so
know. It's
it
constantly
changes.
changes.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up is the school calendar approval.
Good evening, Chair Ruel, members of the board, Dr. Stallo. Here this evening to present to you the 2021-22 school calendar for review and approval. I'd just like to say a few comments as you look that over. The process for the calendar usually starts as a subgroup of meet and confer, where we have elementary, middle school, and high school reps, as well as administrative reps going through the calendar, looking at those components. To kind of go through, work days, parent-teacher conferences, all of those things. From there, we gather input, and we come back and we have our conversation around the calendar. I do want to point out a couple things for you of interest. One of the first things you'll probably notice is that it looks more normal or typical of a school year, and it is with a lot of optimism that we're bringing this calendar forward. But of course, we will continue, as you just heard with the Ready to Learn plan, we're going to continue to ebb and flow with the pandemic, monitor and adjust as we go through this winter and spring and summer, making sure that we navigate this appropriately like we have been, which may mean we may have to adjust this coming forward, but that will always be something we bring forward for board review and communication to our public if we need to do that. But in the spirit of optimism, we're bringing forward a calendar that looks more normal of the school years that we've had in the past. Two other items. One is that through the input process, we did receive some input from a teacher and from a community member about Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish holiday, which for this fall lands on the traditional first day of school. We did ask, the request was for our committee to consider that, to adjust that. Obviously, it's a religious observance, but coupled with the very first day of school and the excitement associated with the first day of school, the request was to see if we could work through that and allow that to not be a student contact day or a staff day, so that we would not have any conflicts. And so the committee spent a great deal of time talking through that, and we were able to find a way to allow that to happen. So what you see is the elementary assessment days being the 8th and 9th, with their first day of school officially on the 10th, and then 6th through 12th, their first day of school would be on the 8th. The second and last item I'll bring to your attention are the 2-hour early release professional development days. For the last several years now, actually more than several, it's been a few, the 2-hour early release for professional development at the end of quarter 1, quarter 2, and quarter 3 have been aligned with the last day of the quarter, where there's been professional development and then goes into the staff work day and grading day. For the most part, it works for a variety of teachers. It also brings, the weekend a little bit longer. But one of the things that we were hearing in feedback from our teachers from the high school is that it did cause some challenges when it came to the end of the quarter, particularly for quarter-long classes, the amount of time working with students in order to make sure that their coursework was all turned in, caught up to speed, and then also accommodating final courses. And so the request was to look at a different time, and of course, one of the things looking at, since we seem to be in a Wednesday rotation this year, was there an opportunity to look at 3 Wednesdays next year in the 21-22 school year that would get us out of the last week of those academic quarters, but also maybe space them out a little bit between that October professional development day and then the professional development day that is slated for President's Day in February. And so you see that reflected here in December 1st, January 12th, and March 16th. So with that, I recommend and am seeking board approval on this calendar.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the 21-22 school calendar as listed? From Mary, second?
Second.
Was that Amy? Amy? Any questions, comments? Mary?
Jeff, I just, there's been a lot of parents that have been asking various, groups of people and teachers about, since we had such a disruption this year, are we starting earlier next year and stuff like that? And it's been my understanding that the governor actually has set the date for a while to start after Labor Day, that individual school districts don't really have that option. And I was just wondering if you could just elaborate on
Yeah.
the normal school year and what is required for public schools.
I believe it's a legislative component where to start after Labor Day. School districts, if they have a certain amount of construction associated with, with their facilities or things that are happening, which we've had over the last 2 to 3 years, and the last time we brought a calendar forward, we had like an earlier start, with Labor Day to accommodate for construction. School districts can do that when they reach a certain threshold. And so we currently, with coming to the tail end of our construction, do not have that threshold to warrant starting earlier than Labor Day as indicated by the legislature.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, this is a roll call vote. Michael?
Aye.
Mary?
Aye.
Julie? Amy?
Aye.
Enrique?
Aye.
Jonathan?
Aye.
Aye. That passes 7-0.
Thank you very much.
This Jim? Okay.
Board members, board chair, Superintendent Stallo, I bring forward a resolution directing the administration to make recommendations for reductions in programs and positions. This is a yearly resolution that we bring forward every year as we begin to look at staffing for the following years. You never make a resolution to add, you can just do that, but you're required to make a resolution to direct us to look at those pieces. And so, like I said, this is an annual thing that we always do, and it is a resolution, so I bring it forward for approval.
Martha, I have to read this, correct? Do I have to? Yes. Okay. All right, this resolution directing the administration to make recommendations for reductions in programs and positions and reasons therefore, whereas the financial condition of the school district and the reduction in student course enrollment dictates that the school board must reduce expenditures immediately, and whereas this reduction in expenditures must include discontinuance of positions and discontinuance of curtailment of programs, and whereas a determination must be made as to which teachers' contracts must be terminated and not renewed, and which teachers may be placed or on unrequested leave of absence without pay or fringe benefits in affecting discontinuation of positions. Therefore, it be resolved, the School Board of ISD 719, that the school board hereby directs the superintendent of schools and administration to consider the discontinuance of programs or positions to effectuate economies in the school district and reduce expenditures and make recommendations to the school board for the discontinuance of programs, curtailments of programs, discontinuance of positions, or curtailment of positions as per the board fund balance policy. Do I have a motion to approve the resolution?
So made.
By Jonathan, second?
Second.
By Mary. Any comments or questions? I mean, this is an annual one. I've done it for 11 years, so we always hope we never have to use it. So unless anyone has any other questions, okay, we'll go to roll call. Jonathan?
Aye.
Enrique?
Aye.
Amy?
Aye.
Julie? Aye. Mary?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Aye. That passes 7-0. And then next up is enrollment update. Julie?
Good evening. I have a very short report tonight. I just want to update you a little bit on what our enrollment is. Our current enrollment continues to decline as we typically see in our district throughout the year. We did lose another 26 students in January, and so we are on track to probably meet our goal this year of our students. We typically lose about 75 students from October 1 till the end of the year, and we're definitely on track to do that this year as well. For next year, we are looking and monitoring our kindergarten enrollment right now, and I know that in the month of February, we're also doing registrations at our middle school and high school. And so right now, we do track in kindergarten, and we are slightly less than what we where we were at this same time last year. That's really to be expected with the unknown and the situation for the start of school in the fall. We certainly hope to make that up. It's not a lot, it's about 30 kids at the kindergarten level. And so I know that we are monitoring that. We're contacting those parents and we're asking them to start registering or to continue to register for our district. Any questions?
Questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is policy. And I'm gonna have to do some flipping here. There's a lot of policies. We had a first talk through, not this is a first read, but I think if you guys looked, we can take them one at a time. I think some of them are pretty quick. There were a couple that we had edits to, which, Martha, if you can correct me, is it 205 and 213? Were the two that we edited? Yes. And the other ones pretty much stayed the same? Is that correct?
One was just a formatting.
Yeah, we fixed that. So we can, are you guys good with looking at those? I mean, I'll just read them off, I mean, as far as what we're, yeah, 205, I think we put the statute in there as asked, but otherwise, everything else stayed the same. 211, I don't think there was any changes to that one at all. 213, we just made the updates to the committees, I think. I don't know if anything's, yeah. 605, there was no change. 605.1, I don't believe there was any change as well. 605.2, there was no change there. 605.3, no change. 605.4, that was listed last time through the activities department. That just notes our process. 514, I don't believe there was anything other than in the procedures that we talked about last time with the change there. I think that's it, unless anyone has any questions on any of them, comments? No? Okay. There's no second readings of policies. No other board policy approval yet. That'll be coming up. Administrative reports. Dr. Salo.
Excellent, thank you. At Prior Lake Savage Area Schools, our mission is to educate all learners to reach their full potential as contributing and productive members of our ever-changing global community. And tonight I'd like to share some of the work in which we have done and which we have been engaged to that mission. I know that there'll be board members who share some of this information. We did get a chance to meet virtually with our local legislators last Monday night, so I'll let board members speak to that. But I did want to provide, as part of a legislative update, the governor recently shared his Due North plan for education, which includes wide-ranging changes geared toward mitigating pandemic-related learning losses, closing racial achievement gaps, simplifying school funding formulas, and diversifying the workforce. Governor Walz also released his biennial budget recommendations to the legislature, proposing a new state investment of more than $745 million for E-12 education funding over the next 2 years. The greatest portion of this is his recommendation for a 1% increase on the general formula for the first year of the biennium, and then a 2.5 increase on the second year. As a reminder, our budget assumptions are a 0% and a 1%, and obviously his proposal has ways to go as it works through the legislature. He proposes an additional $100 million in one-time funding in the current fiscal year, half of which would come from federal stimulus funds to address enrollment decline related to the COVID-19 pandemic and expanded summer learning opportunities. Just as a reminder, the governor's recommendations are based off the November forecast. The February forecast, which we usually get in March, will provide an updated February economic update and budget forecast, which will be the most current basis for which the legislature and the governor must work when adopting the next biennial budget. So certainly more to come on that. Additionally, Minnesota legislators in the House and Senate are very busy and have already heard from educators across the state on a variety of key issues that they're facing, ranging from the economic disparities in early learning to student transportation to expanding the Teacher of Color Act to distance learning support. So over the next several weeks, we'll continue to monitor bills and legislation as it goes through the proper channels, and we'll advocate for our students as we're able. The Minnesota School Boards Association recognizes those who complete 100 or more hours of attendance at MSBA and National School Board Association sponsored meetings and activities within a 4-year period of time. Michael Nelson has achieved this honor and was recognized at the virtual MSBA Leadership Awards ceremony recently. Congratulations, Michael, on attaining the MSBA Directors Award for 2020-21. Your time and commitment to the school board and to our community is greatly appreciated. I wanted to update folks on the National School Safety Symposium. A few summers ago, a small group of Prior Lake Savage Area Schools staff and administrators had the opportunity to attend a conference in Colorado on the standard reunification method presented by the I Love You Guys Foundation. It was a really powerful event, and now that same organization held a virtual conference that dozens of our Prior Lake Savage Area School staff, school board members, and public safety partners were able to attend last Thursday and Friday. The focus of the conference was on proactive measures and effective methods of keeping schools safe. The symposium offered an excellent opportunity to learn and collaborate on school safety and to discuss the district's ongoing work in crisis management and school reunification. We heard from nationally recognized practitioners of school safety, lessons learned from traumatic events, and school safety measures. I want to thank everybody who attended this conference. Assistant Superintendent Jeff Holmberg took the lead on really organizing a great group of folks, community partners, and it was a great event. We'll continue to learn from that event as we advance our district work. Some information on kindergarten as we think about our students that are coming into our school district and hopefully continue to get a lot more students signed up. In response to COVID-19, our elementary principals are promoting a revamped Connect to Kindergarten event for incoming kindergarten students. Families will be able to attend a drive-through book parade designed to get kids excited about kindergarten. Parents and their student can stay safely in their car, and staff will bring students a bag with a kindergarten book donated by the Prior Lake Rotary Club, along with some fun supplies and activities that students will love. It's scheduled for March 4th from 4:30 to 5:30 at each elementary school, and we'll certainly continue to advertise that. Then on May 18th, we will hold our kindergarten open house, where we hope to be able to safely open all of our elementary buildings to kindergarten families and offer school tours. Hopefully we'll be in a safe place to be able to do this, and again, we'll be communicating those details in the weeks to come. For any families who might be viewing tonight, our online enrollment is open, and we encourage families to register for the 2021-22 school year. And then lastly, and this is some more recent news, the Prior Lake High School one-act play cast and crew won their second state title in a row with the production of Hellhound by Allison Page. The one-act placed first at the subsections and first at sections with a perfect score on their way to winning the state title. So I want to congratulate the advisors and the students. And, you know, there's a lot of things that are more difficult to do during this pandemic. And certainly putting together a one-act play is one of those. So to win a state title is just an excellent feat. So congratulations. Thank you.
Administrative reports? Is there any tonight? Any administrators? No? Okay, board reports? Abby, I'm just going to start with you.
Yeah. So I'm just going to update you guys about a couple things that Student Council has going on and has been doing these past couple weeks since 2021 started. So one of our most exciting things that we've done this year has been our teacher welcome back, and we, as a council, got to go and clap for teachers as they came in on the first day, on their first official day back, when they were prepping for the week before hybrid. And so that was really fun. I think it was very appreciated by them. It was fun to see them smiling, or their smiling eyes, I guess. And it was just very exciting. We also got to serve them lunch on, I think the next day, on that Tuesday. We served them canes, which they really enjoyed. Who doesn't love some canes? And so that was really fun to just treat the teachers in that way. We also donated some tie blankets to the local fire stations. We as a student council had a Zoom call where we made tie blankets together, and we got those donated to the fire stations, which is really nice around this cold time of year. We have a lot of events coming up. We're working on planning some events on. I'll keep you guys posted on all of those as they come up. But one of the things that we are working on as an exec board of student council right now is we are attending the city council meeting on February 16th. And we're actually testifying. Two of our exec board members, Lane Bottomiller and Adam Easton, are testifying for in favor of the ban of flavored tobacco. You know what I'm trying to say. I can't figure out the right words.
Juices. Yeah.
E-juices and stuff. So we're all going to be in attendance at that meeting, the whole exec board, and then two of our members are going to speak. And so that's just a really cool opportunity that we have as a student body to represent that locally in Prior Lake. That's all. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Okay. Any other board reports? Anybody? Mary?
Finance team met for the first time this year, and we will be changing the schedule to be Wednesdays starting at 3 for an hour or more. And of course, we haven't yet discussed the Financial Advisory Council with people from the community, but that will be coming hopefully soon.
All right. Anyone else? Michael?
Just briefly, was able to participate in the National School Safety event, and I just want to thank the staff for putting that together, and Jeff for your leadership. Powerful 2 days, and so grateful for the work that's already been put into it prior to coming together for this webinar. It's amazing. Just as a follow-up, and I think some of our committee members may say more, we did have a good meeting with the 4 legislators who met with the board virtually on Zoom, where we brought our district platform to them. And in listening to the 4 of them and sort of where their priorities are, they were very clear they'd like to hear more stories from us about how we are really impacted by some of the upcoming considered legislation. And so I think the Engagement and Legislative Committee met today, and we will be taking some actions to follow up meetings with them and to also try to involve some stakeholders to bring those stories forward and build relationship with them. I was able to, and I'll let you say more, attend AMSD as a second, where we got to hear Senator Chamberlain and Representative Jim Devine and hear some of their thoughts on where things are at legislatively moving forward. And then got to join several fellow board members and Dr. Stallo in visiting several schools over the past few weeks as students are coming back in. And it's just amazing to see the energy and enthusiasm, and I can't say it enough, hats off to the teachers, because they're making it great for the students, but I don't know how they are putting all these moving pieces together and making it happen, and just probably on behalf of the whole board, just so grateful for everything that's being done to get our students in our buildings, so thank you.
Okay. I know, Jonathan?
Append a little bit to what Mary said, making schedule changes, and we did discuss the sort of evolving focus of the FLRP committee to be a little bit more focused on finance going forward, and Julie reviewed budget and enrollment information again. Community ed got rescheduled, and also thoroughly enjoy the visits and seeing the schools come alive again. and so grateful to all of the people who made that be able to be done safely.
I'll just make one comment. I know MSBA Leadership Conference was different this year. You know, I know in the past we've enjoyed going down to the convention center and doing that kind of stuff, but we had, I think it was 3 mornings. Yeah, 3 mornings, Thursday mornings, and I saw all board members at one time or another partaking. There were some really good sessions that I know, you know, are valuable to us. So even though it was different, it was still nice to be able to have that focus and to have that training and to be collaborative with all other school board members. I think there's 7,000, some of us, in the state. And seeing that we all kind of do face a lot of the same issues, so it was good. It was very good training. So thank you for everybody attending that. Any other board reports? Oh, Enrique? No? Sorry, yes, sorry.
Yes, I do.
Yep, go ahead.
Thank you. So Southwest Metro had their organizing meeting on January 19th, and we welcomed 2 new members, myself and another board member from Buffalo. I was appointed to the Education Foundation Committee, which met on the 26th, and the focus there right now is on, in light of the pandemic, donations are down. I'm trying to find ways to just kind of energize that momentum behind fundraising so that Southwest Metro can continue to offer scholarships to those that are in need and who are looking for those different outlets, especially as we focus on technical and trades training, along with a variety of other areas. So those are a couple of different highlights. First semester graduation was on January 21st, and there were 9 individuals who graduated from Southwest Metro on that. So it's great to see them on Zoom. Michael already touched on the Public Engagement and Community Action Committee. So we're looking at different opportunities to continue that momentum and some different action items following up from the legislative session that we had on February 1st.
Okay.
That's it for me.
Enrique, don't forget that they're about ready to move into that new building.
Oh, she said, did you hear that, Enrique? Mary said that they're getting ready to move in to the new building, Southwest?
Yes, that's right.
All right. Okay, thank you. All right, future events. The future events, February 17th, 2021, no school, K through 12, staff in-service day. February 22nd, there will be the school board study session at 6. And with that, I'm going to adjourn the regular meeting, and we're going to transition into a closed meeting to discuss negotiation strategy.